This is the gold standard compilation of 50 Excel tips and tricks that will enhance your productivity. From the shortcuts to hidden features, these hacks will save your time and make you a pro in Excel. I've combined tips and tricks featured in my previous videos and some that I'm planning to make videos about in the future. And you're going to find solution to the most common challenges usually faced in Excel in this video. You can navigate through the video using the timestamps placed on the video and in the description box down below. Don't forget to support the channel by subscribing and liking the videos. So the first one, you're going to change the case for these letters, and right off you're going to start with the lowercase is equals to, just type lower and then highlight the cell like that, then cross the formula, hit on enter, drag the formula all the way down from that edge, and you're going to replicate that all the way down. For the uppercase, just type is equals to upper, then highlight whichever, let me still highlight that one there, then cross the bracket, hit on enter, go to this edge here, drag the formula down, or alternatively you can just double click like that and the formula will replicate all the way down. For the proper case, the same is equals to, just type on proper, hit on enter, no, you just hit on tab, then highlight the cell like that. But because this is in proper form, why can we just pick something like this one, and then close the bracket, hit on enter, then send the formula all the way down. I have another better way that involves using a shortcut. We are going to see that later. It's way efficient and better. You don't need to type the formula. So let's go to the next one, and in this one we're going to create a drop down. It's very easy. What I need is to select a country instead of typing the country. Just highlight the area where you want them and go to data on the tab there, then click on data validation, again data validation. For the allow, click on list because we just only want the list, and the source, I have the countries here, they are written somewhere, so I've tagged them here. So what I need to do is just place the cursor there, then highlight the countries, then click on OK. Now we have the drop down. So if I click on this cell, I can click on this icon for the drop down there, and then I can be able to select the country. So let's go to the next one, which is the developer options. Now, enabling developer options in Excel will unlock some other advanced features of Excel, and you do that by right-clicking on the ribbon of your Excel, then click on Customize Ribbon, go all the way to this side here. You have developer option. Make sure it's checked and then click on OK. Now you have a developer tab on your ribbon, so you can be able to use all the features which are listed here, and we are going to see some of them later. So the next one, we are going to insert checkboxes, and now because that require developer options, that's why we had to have that before we even proceed. So what you do, you click on developer tab there, then click on insert, and this is the checkboxes. Click on it and then take the mouse to where you want the checkbox to occupy, then highlight that area. Now I have it here, so I can be able to resize it like that, and then I want to remove everything about the title of them. So I have a checkbox there, so I can drag this all the way down because I want the whole of that column to be checkboxes. Also, I want them in all the other boxes here, so I can just grab this handle here, then do the same, drag it all the way, and you have the checkboxes in all the columns that you want. Now, in case maybe I want to check something here, I can check it like that, just as easy as that. So this is the next tip. When you want to type serial numbers, what usually happen most of the time, you type 1, enter 2, enter 3, all the way up to the end of your data. But that might be time taking, especially if you have a huge data set. So what you do, if for example I know I have 100 entries, or maybe 150, or maybe 1,000, just use a sequence formula is equals to sequence, and then put the number of the entries that you want. I want like 500. Close the bracket, hit on enter, and I have them all the way. If I want to see whether I have all the entries, Control Shift down, and I can go all the way up to the last one. That's Control up, then I can be able to go all the way up to the top. There's a better way of doing that. I want to automate the whole thing so that I don't need to input the serial number. I just need only to type something here, hit on enter, and the serial number will automatically appear from nowhere. So what you're going to do, you're going to insert count A into the sequence formula, and then we can be able to automate that. So let's start off with my name there, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to type the formula here is equals to sequence. We have the sequence, but then we're going to use count A, that is counting all, count A, and here we're going to highlight the area where we suspect they're going to have the data, and then we cross the count A, we cross the sequence, we hit on enter. Now we have a number here. So in case maybe I type something here, hit on enter, a number will appear from nowhere here. So Jane, enter, Mungi, enter, whatever. So you can type so many things there, and the number will appear automatically. So in this tip, I'm going to show you how you can be able to leverage macros so that you can be able to automate some of the repetitive tasks. And you don't need to have the knowledge in Visual Basics to just do this. What I need to do, I want to just have access to developer options, which we saw how to enable earlier on. And I want to record macro. So what you do, just click on your macro, then name it the way you want, click on OK. Mine is already there, so it's recording. So if you look at it here, you can see stop recording, meaning every click that we are going to make right now will be recorded in our macro. So what I need to do maybe is this is just an example. I want to make those one bold. I want to maybe reduce their font to something like that. And then this ones, I need to change the whole of that column so that it's painted that way. Maybe change the color to something ugly. Look, that will look way bad. Let's go to maybe this column, and this is where we're going to change the font color. Let's change it to something green. So now we have several actions. We can even continue doing it. So go to borders, maybe if we want all the borders there, and then we want the whole of this table copied and pasted somewhere here. So right click and then paste it, then resize. We have so many actions now in our macro. We can now comfortably stop. Click on developer, go to this option there. We've stopped. Now we have macros. And anytime maybe I want to replicate this, let's reverse all the actions. So now we are here. What I need to do is just click on developer, go to macros, and then we have this macro listed here. You might have several, so I have only one. If I click on run, you can see exactly what we did is what was replicated by that macro. So we can make this more interesting by putting a button so that instead of clicking on developer, then going to macros, then looking for the macro, clicking on run, so many clicks, we can reduce that by creating a button here or any place that you want. So you do that by going to insert, go to shape, choose whatever shape that you want. I want this one. Then highlight the area where you want that button to occupy. Right click, click on edit text so that we want to add the text there inside. Let's call this run macro. Okay, make it a little bit larger, and you can decide to use a more fancy button looking like that. So we have it. Now we have the button. What you need to do, right click on it, click on assign macro, then go to the macro that you recorded, then select it and then click on OK. And if you observe, if we hover the mouse over the button like this, it changes. So the cursor will change, indicating that there's something that's connected to the button. So let's delete that, take everything back to default. Yeah, let's get out to that point. Now, if I just click on run macro, everything will run as we did earlier. So this is a very useful way of automating some of the tasks you usually do on daily basis. So in this tip, I want to know the exact date that is represented by these dates. So if this was on a Sunday, maybe a Monday, a Wednesday, I want to know. So you can do that by highlighting, then changing the date going to the long form. Then adjust, you can definitely tell from this end the day that was. But suppose you don't want to do that. You can use a formula is equals to, we want to convert that to a text. Then select the cell, the one that has the date, then put your comma, and then between the quotes, if you want to know the day, put D, 4 of them, D for dog, not what you think. Hit on enter, then you see this was on a Tuesday. You can take the formula all the way down to know all the other dates. If I want to know the month, go back to the same formula, but instead of the D's, just make sure you put M. So you have 4 of them. Hit on enter. You can see this was on December. Pull the formula all the way down. You can see this was January. We have February, and maybe let's see if we change something like to something like that. That was January. You can change, and it will change in real time anyway. Let's go to the next one, which is my favorite. Now we go to Control E. This is a very, very powerful shortcut. You definitely need to start using this because you can do a lot. So long as you have a pattern in the left side of your data, Control E will be able to analyze that pattern and do exactly what you want. Like for example, this time I want to just grab the first name only. So this is Ella. Hit on enter, then Control E. So it will look on the left side, grab the name and paste it here. So the same will happen to the second name. Hit on enter, then Control E. It will do the same. It will go grab the second name and then paste it here. Now I want to merge the two names. You can just do the same. Ella, Rose, then Control E. It will do exactly that. Now I want the initials, which will be E, R, like that. I hit on enter, then Control E as usual. So we'll have all the initials. I want to create emails for them. So maybe I want them to have an email that looks like this. Rose like that. Hit on enter, then Control E. So last time, to change the case for every value that we have, we used a formula. This time we're going to use a shortcut. The only thing that I need to do here is to type the name in uppercase, like this one, Ella. Hit on enter, then Control E. We're going to have that replicated all the way down. You go to the next one, the lowercase, Control E. So the proper case, just type exactly what you want to replicate, enter, then Control E. Now I want to interchange the name such that we start with Rose and then Ella. I'm going to start with Rose, so type Rose, Ella, like that. Hit on enter, then Control E, and we have them interchanged. You can do a lot with a Control E. These are some of the actions which I selected. Actually, we have so many other things you can do with it. I want to create a data entry form, but the first thing you need to do is to bring a form option here on the quick access toolbar. Click on this option here, go all the way to more commands, and then change this to all commands, then navigate to form. That should be F. So you have this form, highlight it, click on add, then click on OK. Now we have that option there. Then highlight your data like that, press on Ctrl T. We want to convert this into a table. Hit on enter. Now this is a table. Highlight one of the cell, then click on the option for the form, and then you have this dialog. We can be able to enter anything. So I want to make a new entry. Click on new. This should be Moses. And then the age should be 78. I don't know. The cells, maybe I did 120. The ID, whatever number there, a random one. country Kenya. When I hit on enter, a new entry will come here. You can enter as many as you want, so it will make your data entry easy. In this one, we're going to create a hyperlink so that when I click on this country, it will take me to maybe the Wikipedia page of that country so that I'll know more about that country. Let's go and grab a link somewhere. Afghanistan, this is Wikipedia. We copy the link address, then go back. We highlight Afghanistan, that's the cell that we have the link for. Then press on Ctrl K. We are going to have this pop-up. And ignore everything else and go to address, paste your link there, then click on OK. You see this will change, and when you bring the cursor there, it will change, meaning that it's linked to a link somewhere. So if I click on it like that, it will open the link and it will go to where the link leads to. So in this tip, let's say for example I want to type several things. If I hit on enter, instead of having another entry, it jumps all the way to the next cell. I don't want to have that. I want to have several more entries within the same cell. First of all, let's make our formula bar a little bit larger like that. And then after typing that name, then press on Alt, then enter, then type whatever else you want to type. Then Alt, enter, something else. And then because I'm done, I can just press on enter alone and I'll have all of them within the same cell. So in this one, we are going to highlight all the blank cells. Just highlight where you have them like that. Then press on F5. You're going to have this dialog box. Click on special. Then we want the blanks. So make sure blanks is checked and then click on OK. You're going to have all the blanks highlighted. I can decide to just type anything, empty. Then press on Ctrl Enter to have empty in all the empty spaces, Ctrl Z. So I can decide to delete all of them by pressing on Ctrl minus, then hitting on Enter. I'm going to mess my data anyway, but we have deleted everything. So the same goes for the rows. In case maybe they are not as many, we can just highlight them like this. After highlighting the first one, press on Control, then from the edge you can continue selecting and highlighting them from this edge of the row like that. Then I can be able to just press on Control minus and they all disappear. So in this tip, I want to be using a shortcut to open Excel. So what you need to do, right click on your Excel, then click on Show More for Windows 11. For other Windows, I think you don't need to click on More. Pin to taskbar, drag it all the way up to where we have charts. So from charts, here we have 1, 2, 3 according to the position. Now in case I want to open Excel, which is number 1 there, press on Windows 1. It will open that. I want to open File Explorer, Windows 2, Windows 3, Windows 4, according to the position of that application on the taskbar. So in this tip, we are going to generate barcodes for everything that we have here. So we are going to use the IDs, highlight them like that. I like to copy them. Let's paste them there so that we don't mess with the data there. And then click on the font, type on ID automation, hit on enter, and we have the barcode. I have a video on how you can be able to install this font in your computer. I'll put a link to that video around this point. In this tip, we are going to remove the duplicates. We already see we have several, but if there are so many and we have a huge data set, it will be easy for you to just use the unique formula. What you need to type is equals to unique, and then highlight where your data is, cross your formula, hit on enter, and you have all the names with the duplicates removed. In this tip, we are going to Autosum, which is very easy. Highlight your data like this, Alt is equals to, and you have the sum of each column here. You can do the same even for the rows. So just highlight your data with an extra row there, then Alt is equals to, and you can see we have the total for the rows and for the columns. You can select several tables, press on Ctrl before highlighting, exactly like that. Then press on Alt is equals to, let's resize this one, and we have the totals here for the columns, and then we have for the rows, we have them there. So in this one, I want to combine everything in this row into a single cell. Copy pasting will take forever. So let's just use a formula is equals to Textjoin, that one, hit on tab to autofill, and we are going to start off with the delimiter. So for the delimiter, I want colon and a space, and then I put a comma there. I want to ignore all the empty spaces, so I press on tab, then comma, then I go to the text. I want the whole of this table, not actually table. Let's start off with that. So close the formula, hit on enter, and we have everything within the same cell. So you can drag the formula down to replicate that all the way down. Sometimes when you want to invert your table so that your columns go to the rows and the rows go to the column, it's actually very easy. You don't need to retype your work. All you need to do, highlight that section. I'll just highlight this one. Then just copy. Then after copying, go to a new cell, right click, look for this option here, transposing. If you click on it like that, it will make sure that everything which was on the rows goes to the column, and everything which was in the columns go to the rows. And as you can see, we have some hyphen, and I want to remove them. Highlight that, press on Ctrl H. We're going to replace them with a space. What you're going to do, just type a hyphen there, then we're going to replace that with a space, then replace all. And now we have names without that hyphen. So in this one, we're going to use is equals to transfer all the data from this area to another point that you want. Like for example, I want the whole of this table to move to this point. So I'll just say is equals to, highlight all of them up to the end there, then hit on enter. And as you can see, we are able to carry everything within that column without carrying the format. So do the same, grab them all the way down like that, and definitely we have the table transferred to this point. So you can do the same for a different sheet. Let's create a new sheet, and then let's go back to our data. What I want is to transfer that table to this point. So I'll say is equals to that, then go to the first cell there. I can actually even highlight all of them up to that point, then hit on enter. So you can drag it down, and you're going to have the data from the previous sheet, and that table will be transferred here. So you have this table, and I want to sort according to so many parameters. So using the manual way of maybe filtering will take you forever. Just press on Alt HSU. You're going to have this dialog, and then I want to sort with this one, 1960, because we have some conditional formatting there. Then click on a cell color. This is what I want to use. Then select the color that you have there, and I want them to be on top. If I click on OK, they'll all come on top, and then they'll be sorted according to the region. I have a very interesting table here. I want to protect because we have some formulas, and I don't want people to come and tamper with those formulas. What I need to do, like for example, I have something going on here. I want to make sure that no one will come and type something other than only this cell here. So you do that by clicking on the cells where you want to make sure that people will be able to type, go all the way up to the end of the data. I want to go up to that point, and then right click on it, go to format cells, go to protection, make sure this is unchecked, and we are good to go. So the cells will be unlocked all the way. So highlight the whole of your sheet like that, then go to review, then protect the sheet. Then you can select the options that you want to allow other people to be able to do. In my case, I want nothing, so I'll make sure that everything is selected there. Then I want the password. Make sure you use a stronger password. Click on OK. re-enter the password, click on OK. So it's complaining that the password is not identical. So repeat the same password, click on OK, and the sheet is protected. The only place I can be able to type is this one. If I so happen to change something here, I'll get this error. I have a video on how you can be able to remove that password in case you forget it, or maybe you have a document that you have no idea where the password is. You can be able to unlock that one. I'll put a link to that video somewhere here. So now we've locked. If you want to unlock it, just highlight it like that, click on unprotect the sheet, then put the password, and then now you can be able to type anywhere you want within the sheet. So sometimes you want to hide the rows, maybe the columns, or the data within the cells, a certain region, because maybe you want that to not be obvious to the people around you. So what you do for the rows, highlight where you want to hide the data, right click, click on hide. So the data inside here, you can see we have 4, then it jumps all the way up to 14. We have some cells which are hidden there. So you can double click on it and the data will come back. The same goes to the columns. Right click, you can hide, and the same way you can double click on that edge to bring the data back. So for the cells, just highlight the cells like that, right click, go to format cells, and then go to the number, and then click on custom. Remove this general and make sure you put 3 semicolons like that. Then hit on enter and the data will just disappear. So in this one, we're going to use color and emoji to denote the trend of the data. So we're going to use this one. First of all, I want to convert this one to a percentage. Highlight all the way down. Then go to home, click on the percentage like that. Now we have it like that. And then the same thing, highlight, go to the top, right click, go to format cells, and click on custom, and delete the percentage that we have there, and type this. We use square bracket like that. Then I want to have color 3 to be the first one to represent a positive change. Color 3, I close them. Then I want that on 0.0%. That's a positive change. And then I want this to be represented by an emoji. You do that by pressing on Windows, full stop. I don't know whether it's a dot or something. Click on whatever emoji that you prefer. I want that one. And then I close with a semicolon. Now that's for the positive change. For the negative change, I want a different color. So square bracket, color 10. I close the bracket. I want negative change 0.0%, and then this should be with a sad emoji. Let's use that one. Then click on OK, and you have your data looking exactly like this. So a very handy shortcut for today's date, control semicolon or colon. They are in the same key. For the time, just press on Control Shift the same key, semicolon or the colon. They're in the same key, by the way. Let's go to navigation. You have a huge data set like this one. Scrolling or maybe using the navigation bar here will be hectic. What I need to do is, for example, I want to go all the way down. What I need to do is just press on Control down facing arrow. That will take me to the end of the data. Control up facing arrow will take me to the top. If I want to go all the way to the corner, the end of the data, this point here, the extreme corner, maybe somewhere there. I'm not sure that, yeah, I think it's that point. If I want to go to that point, I'll press on Control End. It will take me all the way there. Then Control Home will take me to cell A1. So in this one, I want to select the cell selectively. That means I want to select some and I leave some. What I need to do is, if you're selecting within the same column or within the same row, just highlight the first cell like that, then go to the end cell, like I want to highlight all the way up to this point. Press on Shift, then click on that cell. Everything there will be highlighted. The same goes to the rows. Highlight maybe that one, then press on Shift, click on whatever cell, then everything will be selected. But I want to select several along the rows, along the columns. In that case, just press on Control, then highlight the cells. I can highlight as many as I want. I can even select across the columns, even across the rows. And I can just delete them. Just pressing on delete, you remove everything. And again, I can type something, like let's say Moses. Then press on Control, Enter, and they will replicate in every of that cell which was selected. So in this one, if you want to enter a single thing within several cells, mostly what people usually do, they go to one cell, Control Copy, highlight that, then Control V. You're going to replicate everything in that cell. You can also decide to Control Copy, which is a long process, Control V, then go to this handle here, then highlight all the way down. There's another way, just highlight that, then type your name or whatever name that you want. Before you do anything, press on Control, then press on Enter, and the name will be replicated in all the highlighted cells. So in case maybe I want to replicate this name down here, all I need to do is to just press on Control D, and it will replicate itself. Control D, Control D. So I want to create a sequence in this one, and I want that to be from number 1 maybe to 1,000. So just do that, then click on Fill, that one, then click on Series, and you're going to select the one that you want to maybe work with. I want to work with rows, maybe columns. In this case, I want to work with columns, and then I want this to be linear, and the step value, I want this to be, let's say 5, and the stop value should be, I'm going to use the 500. Click on OK, and we have the series. So from the number which you highlighted first when you are creating the series, it will add 5 in every instance. So there will be 6, 11, 16, 21, all the way down. For the days, you'll do the same. We use a shortcut to insert today's date. So this is today. Highlight it, click on Fill, go to Series, and then this time we're going to work with dates. So I want them down the columns, and I want only the weekday. I don't want to have the weekends. So I want the stop value to be December 20th, 2025. So that will be our stop value. If I click on OK, I'll have the series going all the way up to 2025. So I can check whether the dates are comprising of weekends. Click on a long date format. You can see we don't have Saturday and Sundays. So if you want them to be included, just make sure you select the day and not a weekday. You can even decide to have the year or the month. So I've seen so many people struggling with the percentage. Let's see an example. I want to get the percentage change between the population in 1960 and 1961. So is equals to this population minus this population here across the bracket. Then we divide by the original population, and then we multiply by 100 to get the percentage. So this is the percentage all the way down. If I want to have that percentage thing here, what I need to do, if I click on this, I'll have a misrepresentation because it will multiply everything by 100. So what you do, go back to your formula and remove multiplication by 100. Remove it up to that point, hit on enter. Let's send the formula all the way down, and then you can now click safely that percentage sign there. Or if you want to have a percentage, I want to type them manually, what you need to do, just highlight the area where you want them to be. Then first of all, before you do anything, click on the percentage. So that column will be formatted to only take percentage. So every time I type something, it will not be multiplied by that 100. You can see it's working. In this one, we're going to indicate whether the person failed or they passed according to the grades that they got. So we're going to use if type is equals to if, press on tab, then highlight. This is the logical test. This cell, if the cell, the content of that cell is greater than 50, then that's a pass, close the bracket like that. But if the person had anything less than 50, they are going to get a fail. Hit on enter and we have the pass and fail. Double click and then you can see a fail for anything below 50. It's a fail, it's a fail, a fail. This should be a fail according to our formula here, but we can be able to format the formula a little bit so that it's a 50.99. So this will be a fail again, and 2 is a fail. Everything else above 50 will be a pass. So I have data here. I want to create a pivot table. Very easy. Highlight your data like that, whatever. Maybe I want the whole of it to be represented, maybe up to that point. Click on insert, then go to pivot table. Then click on OK. We can create our pivot table with whatever you have here. Like for example, I want the rows, the region to be in the rows. All of this, all of this. Now I want this to be in the columns, and I can add as many as possible. The country name should come here, and I actually want it on top there. So it's very easy to create one. So I have a pivot table here. So in this one, I want to activate dark theme. Maybe you're working at night and you want less light. Click on File, go to Account. On the Office theme, click on that drop down, go to something like that, black. So you have that. You can go back to your Excel. I want this area to be dark also, so I can use a wallpaper which is dark. I have that one saved in my computer. Click on background. I'll navigate all the way to where I have saved that wallpaper. Click on insert. It will take some seconds, and you can see everything is dark. I want to leverage autocorrect so that every time I type something like MK, I'll be able to be getting the full name. What you do, click on File, go to Options, then click on Proofing, Autocorrect Options. Then here, I want to replace MK in caps with Moses, like that. Click on OK. Click on OK, like that. So every time I type on MK, hit on space, I'm going to get that name anywhere. MK space, going to get it. MK space. So it's very efficient. You can be able to have something longer than this, and you'll save your time during data entry. When I type 0 there, I get a cross. Type 1 or anything above 1, I get a tick. So let's see how we can be able to achieve that. What you do, just highlight where you want to have those icons. Then go to conditional formatting, click on new rule, and then here, format style, change that to icon sets. Then change the icon set to whatever you want. I want that one. This time I use something different. And then because I have only 2 options, I can change this back to a cross, and this one I don't have an option for that, so I click no cell icon. Make sure that you check on show icon only, and for the percent I want a number and not a percent. Also this one a number, and for the value, the first one I want 1 or anything above that, and anything below 0 should be denoted by a cross. So I click on OK, and if I go here, I type on 0, hit on enter, I get a cross. Anything above 1 will attract a tick. So in this one, I want to create sparklines. They are good indicators, and they are usually within the cell. So what you do, highlight your data like that, Control Shift down to select everything. And then we have this icon here. Click on it. Then go to sparklines, and I want a line. You can change to whatever else you want, but let's use sparkline this time, so that anytime, maybe for example, I change something there like that, you can see they are changing in real time in the data. So you can see the population trends. You can be able to see that within the cells. So in this one, I'm going to remove the background for any image, and just click on insert, then go to this device, because I have one saved in my computer. Click on it, then click on insert. Now I have this image. What you need to do, just click on remove background. It will take several seconds. So it will highlight in pink the areas where your background will be. You can adjust that using these two options here. Then if you're okay with that, then click on keep changes. Now you can see we have an image without the background. So we have this website, very, very important. And we have so many options. You can be able to merge your documents, but you're interested in Excel. So you can convert your Excel to PDF, and you can convert your PDF to Excel. So these two options will be very handy when you're dealing with Excel. So you can just go to this website. I'll try to link it in the description box so that you get to go and interact with it. So we have some very good features, not only for Excel, but for even other documents. So in this one, we're going to use bar charts, but they will be within the cells. Highlight your data like this. Click on this icon here, and then you can just click on a data bars like that. If in case maybe this happens to be a negative 100, it will change to a red color, and it will go the opposite direction. Same to this. Anything negative will go to that other direction. So in this one, I have the age and today's date, but I don't know the date of birth, and that's what we are going to calculate right now. So this is the formula, and I'll just put is equals to CTRL V, hit on enter, and I'll be able to get the date of birth for each and every person there. So in this one, you don't have the age, but you have the date of birth, and we have today. So you're going to use yearfrac is equals to yearfrac, and the start date, which is this one, comma, then you go to the end date, this one, and because this cell is not moving, we are going to fix it. Press on F4, then we close the bracket, hit on enter, and we have the age in years. So there you go, we have the age. So this is a very interesting one. I want, if I hover my mouse over a cell, I get a preview of whatever is inside there. So like that. So I get the image of the phone, the camera, the office chair, everything. So let's get to do exactly that. So what you do, just right click on the cell, then go to insert comment. Then we're going to remove this. And anywhere within that cell on the edges, right click on it. Then go to format comment, and here you're going to see color and lines. So after clicking on the colors and lines, click on this drop down, then go to fill effects, and we want a picture, so you click on picture, and you select the picture. You navigate to where the picture is, so you can select any image. I have this one. Click on OK, click on OK again, and you can use the handles to adjust the size, and you can repeat this for every other thing here. And exactly that's the way you're going to have such kind of a preview. So in this one, I want to use the shortest time possible to create a bar chart. I'll highlight my data like that, then Alt F1, and I have my chart there. So in case maybe I want to change it to something, maybe I want to add some new columns like that, just go to them, highlight them, Control copy, go to your chart, Control V, and you can see we have additional columns which were added there. So in this one, we're going to use ChatGPT so that we can be able to get the sum of everything here. First of all, let's see whether we're going to get something accurate. Alt is equals to, so we're going to compare with this one. Yeah, okay. we hit on enter. So it will give us the formula and it will give the explanation of the formula. So I can copy the formula, control copy, go back to our Excel, control V, and see whether we're going to get exactly the same value, which is exactly what we wanted. We can get standard deviation, we can get macros from ChatGPT. We have so many things we can get from it. For this one, we're going to create an expiry tracker for the items so that you'll be able to know exactly what's left, and we're going to get an indication of what is supposed to be replenished or maybe discarded. And we're going to do that by first of all inputting today's date. So today, you can use a formula which will be is equals to today, close it, you cross it like that, cross it like that, hit on enter, you're going to get today, and that will be dynamic. So what you're going to do, first of all, you're going to calculate the days which are left, and you're going to get that by is equals to the expiry date minus today, which is this one, and make sure you fix today because that cell is still going to be the same all the way. So press on F4, hit on enter, you're going to get those days. Double click to send the formula down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use if formula here, equals to if the days left are less than 0, comma, you're going to get the message that they are expired. Click close. We're going to nest another if the days left are less than 50, then we should get the message that they are expiring soon. And anything else should be sufficient. We close that. Then we cross the nested formula, we cross the other one, we hit on enter, and you can see that one is sufficient. This is expired, this is sufficient, expiring soon, expiring soon. And we can actually go ahead and do a condition of formatting and highlight the cell with the text that contains sufficient. That one should have a green. We create another condition of formatting, highlight the cell that contains expired. That should be in red. Exactly, that one is okay. And we go to the next one, create another rule. You go to highlighted cells, the text that contains expiring soon. We should get something like light green. I'm not sure whether that works. Maybe yellow, yeah, like that. Click on OK, and we're done. So that was very interesting for me. I hope it was to you too. If it added value to you, give us a like, and also if you've not subscribed to the channel, support us by subscribing, sharing to those people who are interested in the content that you're making. And also, if you have something, just type that in the comment region. Let's continue the conversation there. And until next time, peace.